make the message that Trump and his colleagues are not welcomed in Milwaukee at all.
What have you seen from all these different groups? What's jumped out at you today that you've noticed?
That people who have built this country, immigrants, BIPOC community, are vocalizing that they're done. They're done with the hate, the division, the ignorance of a former president that seems to not understand that ever and will never. And I don't understand why. Yeah, we've been organizing for about 2 years now since we found out that it was going to be here. We've been trying to get different organizations across the country to join us in this effort to vocalize that they're not welcome here, that they shouldn't be here. Milwaukee is a city that's been thriving because of the immigrant and the BIPOC community who's built it from bottom up. So it was very, very hard to get the permit to the route going and accepted by the city. They had turned in a route 2 years prior to this day, and it got pushed back by Secret Service until just recently. They released the route like 2 weeks ago, and they had denied it at first, but then we pushed back on the city, and we were able to go according to the original route.
And they prevented that park across the river from being used as well, correct?
Yes, they put a lot of blockage where they weren't supposed to, which is very inhumane because it's an accessibility issue, and it's not okay. Like we're just trying to use our, amendment rights, freedom of speech to be able to vocalize that we need to make sure that everybody's needs are being met, and according to this, they're not. There's gonna definitely be debriefing of organizations on what went well, what we could do better next time in regards to create organizing for a big protest march like this. The people who are in charge of it are the coalition to the march of the RNC 2024. They're the ones who kind of organized everything and organized all the organizations to be part of this across the nation. I think there is going to be, there already is a lot of police presence ever since attempt on former Trump just 2 days ago, and it's just gonna be heavy, and it brings a lot of division, like people who can't drive, like undocumented immigrants, because in our city, sadly, in 2007, they got removed the driver's licenses. People who need to get to where they need A to B in the city can't reach their destination and have to find alternatives. So things like that, it's just sad to see that there's so much police presence. Like if they view us as we're animals, like if we are going to create violence, when in reality that's not the truth. Like nobody has done that. If anything, it's the Republicans who've used force and weapons and to voice their concerns when we can't even have a civilized conversation. In America today, we can't do that.
So would you say that people that have worked on this are also, some of them will also be involved in protesting the Democrats in a month down in Chicago? Can you talk about, these cities are so close to each other.
Yeah, there's gonna be the people who organized this march are going to be also rallying and protesting at the DNC because President Biden hasn't done much in regards to Gaza, the genocide that's happening in Gaza to this day, and he's kind of just sitting around for what? Like you have blood in your hands, dude. Seriously, how can you sleep like that, knowing that kids are dying? Like I'm a teacher, I work with kids. It hurts to see that.
So there was a shooting attempt on candidate Trump over the weekend, and politicians condemned political violence. But what I noticed is that when they sponsor wars and bombing of other countries, they don't talk about that.
They don't talk about that, right?
Political violence.
Yeah, no, they don't. They just shove it under the rug, and they don't consider that political violence. They choose to identify what is acceptable as political violence, and that is not okay. That is not right. So many Democrats and Republicans have said that phrase. I'm like, no. We see that all of it is political violence, and that's it. We're gonna keep vocalizing that he is not welcomed in Milwaukee, and he shouldn't even be here because our people are gonna keep saying what we have to say. You are not welcome. There's gonna be a lot of like local events. to kind of protest this, but not nearby. It's more like building community and not focusing so much on the RNC and having people like create community.